I work the graveyard shift at a local shipping warehouse. Most nights, it's just me and the quiet. My job isn't complicated, counting inventory, tracking shipments, making sure every item is accounted for and where it needs to be. Occasionally, a coworker joins for the shift, but that night, like most, I was completely alone. I clocked in around 10 p.m., did the routine check-in with my manager, and watched as he locked the front entrance behind him. Then I was alone in the building, a large, echoing maze of metal shelves, pallets, and concrete floors. I got to work, scanning barcodes, checking off logs. An hour into my shift, I passed one of the side doors near the back of the warehouse and noticed something strange. It wasn't fully closed. The heavy steel door sat slightly ajar, not enough to be open, just off the latch. It was the kind of door truckers would use when backing up to deliver goods, and it should have been locked tight. I pushed it open and looked out into the back lot. The cold night air brushed my skin. The lot was empty, bathed in the dim orange glow of a distant street lamp. Nothing out there, just the cracked asphalt and silent dark beyond the fence line. I figured my manager must have forgotten to lock it. I didn't have the keys for that door anyway, and honestly, I didn't think much of it. I shut it and moved on. But as I resumed working, scanning boxes and stacking records, I had this growing feeling. It started small, like a whisper in the back of my head. You forgot something. Something's off. Then I saw it. Out of the corner of my eye, near the far end of the warehouse, I caught a flicker of motion. I turned fast, expecting to see a bird or maybe just shadows shifting. But there was nothing. Still, what I thought I saw was someone moving quickly across the hallway, just for a second. My pulse kicked up. I stood still for a moment, eyes squinting toward the far end, but it was dead quiet. Nothing moved. I told myself it was just one of those visual tricks. Your eyes catch something in your peripheral vision, and your brain fills in the rest. Happens all the time when you're tired. I rubbed my eyes and shook it off, but a part of me couldn't let it go. After a few more minutes of trying to ignore it, I decided to walk down to the end of the hall, just to prove to myself there was nothing there. That part of the warehouse isn't my responsibility. It's mostly storage, tall metal shelves stacked with pallets wrapped in plastic, ready for outbound shipment. I rarely go back there. Most of the lights in that area stay off unless someone specifically needs them on. As I approached, I didn't hear or see anything out of place. The large storage room was still cloaked in darkness. I stood at the edge of the hall and peered in. There was something deeply unsettling about that room, like walking past an alley at night, knowing it's probably empty, but not wanting to find out for sure. Nothing moved. No sound. No figure. No footsteps. Just silence. I turned and walked back to my post. I tried to focus, but it felt like something shifted inside me after that, like a wave of fatigue had rolled over me. Suddenly, I was dragging my feet, eyes heavier than they were before. Maybe it was just the adrenaline crash from the moment of paranoia, or maybe something else. But I pushed through, determined to finish my section before taking a break. Then, not even 5 minutes later, I saw it again. Something in my peripheral vision. I whipped my head toward the hallway and there, for a split second, I swear I saw the shape of a person, just the edge of someone's head and shoulder, leaning out from behind the corner of the far shelves, as if watching me. Then it was gone. This time, I didn't wait. I dropped everything and marched straight down the hall, calling out, "Hello?" Silence. I stepped into the darkened room. My footsteps echoed sharply in the cavernous space. The sound of each step bounced off the walls, underlining just how alone I was, or how alone I should have been. Halfway through the aisle of towering pallets, I stopped. I couldn't see anything out of the ordinary, but that feeling, that unmistakable feeling, hit me like a punch to the gut. Someone was watching me. Not just a passing sense of unease, but a cold, tightening dread that clamped around my chest. I spun around and walked quickly out of the room, back down the hallway. But just before I turned the corner to leave, I paused. Something compelled me to look back one last time. That darkness in the storage room, it wasn't just the absence of light. It felt wrong, like it was hiding something. I turned to go back to work when I was stopped dead in my tracks by a sound. Clang. A loud, metallic bang rang out from the depths of the storage room. It sounded like someone had slammed a heavy piece of metal, maybe a crowbar or a wrench, against the shelving. It echoed like a gunshot, followed by dead silence. Then another sound, a softer tap tap tap, as if something, or someone, was slowly knocking on the metal shelf. I didn't wait. I ran. I bolted down the hallway, past my station, and back to the side door near the rear lot. I shoved it open and sprinted into the parking lot, my breath fogging in the air. Once I was a good distance away from the building, I called the police. I didn't expect much. A trespass report, maybe a note to the manager. But when they arrived and swept the warehouse, I got the call back. They found someone. A man. He was hiding behind a stack of pallets deep in the back of the warehouse. Late 40s, dirty clothes, unkempt hair. He didn't say much, but from what little I saw of him as the cops dragged him out, he looked wrong. Eyes wild, face twisted like he was on something, or had completely lost touch with reality. The police checked the security footage. They told me the man had been walking around the building on multiple nights the week before, circling it over and over, testing doors, looking for a way in. All those nights, I was inside, sometimes just feet away from him. He must have slipped in that night through the door my manager forgot to lock. Whatever his intentions were, I'm glad I didn't stick around to find out. But now, every time I step into that warehouse, every creak and echo makes my skin crawl. I can't help but wonder how long he was watching me before I noticed, or what he planned to do if I'd followed the sound just a little deeper into the dark.